Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris, man. As always, I thank you guys coming to my channel. I'm going to do another, video of reading between the lines when you're dealing with people on Reverb, trying to get information out of them. And I just seen a guitar that I'm would probably be interested in, because I am getting out of here and I'm really not in the market for a guitar, but every now and then you run across something kind of unique. It's like, I kind of like this, it's unique. It ain't like all the rest, I can buy a Fender down the line because I know where to get Fenders or whatever. So it had really unique color to it. That's what drew my attention. It had a mint green. And I was just thinking last week, I'm like, I would like to get another, mint green or get green guitar. What's they call it, surf green? Or one of those blue guitars, light blue. What they call it, powder blue. There's several names: Sonic Blue, Powder Blue. So I seen one on Reverb. So I inquired about it because he said, make an offer, because he want $299 plus $50. And I'm like, I don't think it's really worth $299, but let's see where this goes. So I left him a message, sent him a message. I said, it's a nice looking guitar. And he mentioned that the action was low. And you might have to adjust. I'm like, if it's low, I don't want to bother. So my question was, you stated in your ad description that your guitar action is low. So is it so low it's buzzing? Because when it's real low, it will buzz. And that's my statement when I'm talking about what I like on action on guitars, as low as you can go without before it start buzzing. So his response was this. And this was some BS. Let me pull this back up. Okay, I'm going to go by memory. His response was, when I asked him, is it so low it's buzzing? Well, I haven't played it enough to determine if it's buzzing. Huh? Aren't you selling a guitar? Normally when people sell things, they check it out before they post them so they can check off on any question that a potential buyer might have. So you just haven't played it enough to determine that? It takes less than under a minute to do that. Run your hand up and down each one of the strings down to the frets and you can determine that. So I'm like, oh, he's on some BS, because I'm like, come on, man, you ain't had enough time, or you haven't done that. It's like, okay. So, and then he said this, and you get this all the time. Oh, well, you usually adjust it to the preference of the buyer. That's true, but you still should be able to determine, if you got any neck issues, And I'm like, the way that I buy guitars, because I ask these kind of questions, because I'm like, I don't want to be surprised, and it's best to ask if you don't know. So, again, I asked. And I get this bogus mess, because normally when I do buy guitars, I ask these questions. So when it comes, the only thing that I normally have to do, with the exception of a few, but the majority of the guitars that I buy, because I ask questions, kind of kick the tires, so to speak, that there's no issues that are unforeseen, and it would only take you, less than a minute to check the neck, run your, finger up and down each string, each fret, and you can determine that. And all the guitars, like I said, that I buy most of the time, I don't have any issues with action, because I've already asked them and we determined this is the state of it. The only thing that I have to do when I get my guitars, for the most part, most of the time, is only change the strings, because most people play 9s or 10s. I like 8s. It's very rare that I get a guitar that got 8s on it already. So that's the only thing I do, is change out the strings, and that's it. It's not a big deal to make a slight adjustment if the action is kind of high, but for the most part, it's where it should be. Because I had told you guys a long time ago, and 99.9%, actually technically 100% of you guys said, I don't want my action high. I want it low as it can go before buzzing. I only had one guy, and I won't put him in the category of he wants it high. He told me he played lap steel guitar, so that has to be high. I'm like, okay, I understand that. So that doesn't really count. But I did have one guy that wanted to be the only guy in the room to debate about action. Oh, these other great guitar players play it high. Well, let them play it high. I don't play my guitar based on another man. I play my guitar based on how it feels in my hands, you know? Or, well, you know, Stevie Ray Vaughan played 11s to 12s and so no, I'm not. That was Stevie Ray Vaughan. May he rest in peace, and that was his preference. But I'm not a follower, you know? I'm not claiming to be a leader, but I'm definitely not a follower. I'm going to follow him because he's doing it, you know? But so the guy told me he hasn't played it enough to determine that. So then I asked him about the reverse headstock. I said, is the string strung up normally or is it strung up like Jimmy, you know? And he gave me one word answer, yeah. So again, he mentioned in the ad that you can make an offer. So I said, okay, what's your bottom line? Because I'm not going to throw a figure out there because I don't know what you want, you know? But I'm assuming you're going to give me a little off since you had that option to, you know, ask for an offer or, you know, you give your offer. And this is what he told me. Well, the price is pretty firm. Well, if it was firm, why did you even bother to even include that offer, make an offer? See, I'm like, you all jacked up, man. I ain't got time for this. And my response was, you have a wonderful day, man. Because you don't know what you want. You don't know what you got and you don't know how to play. You know? And then he kind of had kind of an attitude. Sometimes you can read the mood of a person through their emails. And it's like, okay, well, you have a good day, dude. You know, keep the guitar. I was trying to make you an offer because I was interested, but you're not giving me enough information. You know, so I'm assuming that he's not a player and he think that I'm stupid and, I just started playing. And I was like, come on, man. You know, just tell me the truth, regardless of what that is. I had another guy, and I've had two people throw this at me. Because that's the first thing I asked. I'm like, how's the action? And then he threw those figures, 1.5 million. I'm like, dude, speak English. What I want you to tell me that you played your guitar, and how do you think the action is to you and your fingers? Don't give me this metric or stick a measuring stick on it, because that means nothing to me right now, you know. But what means something to me is if you're a player, you can determine that. If you're any kind of player, somebody hand you a guitar and play, it's like, okay, well, the action's pretty decent, or it's too high, or it's too low, or it's just right, you know. But instead, he want to keep giving me these measurements. I'm like, dude, just tell me, you know, it's okay, or not too good. Because I had one guy, he threw that measuring nonsense at me, and I broke him down finally. And he said this, well, this might not be the guitar for you. Thank you. Apparently not. And you won't come clean and just tell me that your guitar's jacked up, the action's real high. You know? Instead, here's the measurements. I don't want that, man. If you can't determine your action just by playing it, what kind of player are you? You know? I get a lot of that on Reverb. You know, when I used to buy off eBay the guitars, which I don't anymore, I mainly buy my guitars now from, like I said, music chains, Guitar Center, perhaps Sam Ash, definitely Music Go Round. You know, that's my main source if it's not Guitar Center. I rarely buy from individuals anymore because you get this nonsense. You know, people trying to hide, you know, some situations or issues, won't just come out and tell you. They think you stupid or dumb or a beginner, or, you know, I haven't played it enough, but you're selling it. It's just like me selling my car and I haven't checked it out. Well, does the brakes work? Is it overheating? You know, is it, you know, do it needs an alternator soon? Is it starting right up? You know, I don't test it. I haven't driven it, but I'm going to sell it. And I'm going to give it a clean bill of health while I'm trying to sell it. You know, only on Reverb I get this. You know, only on Reverb. So I'm like, you know what? Leave Reverb alone. Which is really, I haven't bought off Reverb in a while, with the exception of I got this native instruments, this drum controller coming. And that guy was just the opposite of this guy. You know, when I contacted him, he contacted me immediately. I asked him a couple of questions. He was very helpful. He sent me a link as far as, you know, the questions that I had. Then I said, well, what's your bottom line? Because I see that you say make an offer. And he gave me a pretty good offer. I'm like, okay, cool. You know, I sent him the money right over. The very next day, he sent it out, and then to be here Monday. I'm like, that's how it's supposed to be. You know, that's how every seller should be like, you know, instead of these guys lying to you, think you stupid, trying to, you know, not really give you a straight out answer, dancing around the question, kind of an attitude, and, you know, well, price is firm. So why does it say make an offer? You know, I'm not going to get $10 off, you know. If you don't want to budge on your price, you need to remove that, make an offer. You know, so I'm like, no more reverb. Like I said, with the exception of that drum controller comment, I haven't bought off reverb in a long time. And, you know, I'm like, this is a good reminder. Stay off of reverb. Especially they stuff more higher than any other music site. You know, eBay is pretty fair. You can get good deals there. Music Go Round, you get great deals. Guitar Center, if you look long enough, you get good deals, really good deals. Enormous, okay deals, but if you look harder, longer, you'll find great deals. You know, so I just thought I'd share that with you guys. You know, be leery of people that won't give you a straight answer. You know, simply ask about the action. I ain't played it enough to determine if it's buzzing. Okay. And my response to him at the end of this conversation was, you have a wonderful day, you know, because I'm going to, you know, knowing the fact that I'm keeping a couple of $100 in my pocket and got to spend it on something that might be questionable before I get here. I'm having a good day. Till next time, take care and thanks for watching.